welcome to Car Show Television. I'm Andrew McClary, and we're here in Winter Park, Florida for the Winter Park Concours d'Elegance. We've got a beautiful day, a big crowd, and a lot of great cars. So stay tuned for Car Show Television.
Good afternoon. My name is Tom DuPont. I'm the publisher of the DuPont Registry, a buyer's gallery of fine automobiles. We're here today at the Windermere Country Club for the first annual Concorso at Windermere. It's a beautiful day in Central Florida, nice breeze. We had a wonderful tour on the way out here. We were driving a Viper, but behind us was a V12 Jag. Up in front of us was an old Chrysler, and we really had a blast coming out here. Great tour through the backcountry. This is the Concorso at Windermere. First annual event. Gonna be better than Quail one day. Beautiful setting here on the fairway, wonderful food, good sponsors. Now I'm with the DuPont Registry. Last night, if you weren't there, you missed it. The DuPont Registry live at the Sanford Air Park, right at Sanford Airport at the South Ramp. 4 hangars, I think 20 jets, 50 cars, and the Battle of the Heavyweights. You could actually go for a ride in a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, a Porsche, a BMW, a Maserati, I think, down the runway and back with a professional driver, peaked out at 140, 150 miles an hour. And then you could have a cocktail.
Well, my name is Frank Ricciardelli, and this is my 1932 Chrysler. It's a LeBaron bodied car. It's a 4-door sedan convertible, and it's a straight 8, and it's a real lovely car to drive. Back to the car, it's just a wonderful car. It's a real striking color combination on it, and I enjoy going on caravans with it and bringing it to as many shows as I possibly could have the time for on it. The seats inside there, I'm sure you took some pictures of it, are very unique. The way they kind of made them look like couches in there, the LeBaron, the way they did it. I bought it at an auction at Amelia Island many years ago, and then I took it up to RM Auctions, who they're a restoring shop, and they restored the car for me, or finished restoring it. It was partially done, and they finished it to the quality it is right now today. Well, it's got the pilot raised lights in the front there, and as you turn your wheel to the left or to the right, those pilot raised lights turn to the left or the right, depending on how you turn the wheel. It's something very unique that they had back then. It's amazing for the 30s. They don't have it today, but they had it back in the 30s. Well, it's got a throttle adjustment there that you can go ahead and throttle it, and it'll just move on and down the road. You can do it by hand instead of using the foot pedal that's on there. So that's another unique thing that it has.
Hi, I'm Roger James, and I'm with D&D Classic Auto Restoration of Covington, Ohio. And I'd like to introduce you to an old friend of mine here, a 1928 Isotta Fraschini. This is a very special car for us. Had the privilege of restoring this back in 2007 and went to Pebble Beach at that time, and we've been showing it ever since. It is a very special car. It's only one of 2 that was built and bodied in this country by LeBaron. It was built in Milano, Italy, the chassis and running gear and everything, and was shipped to this country and bodied by LeBaron. Went to the New York Auto Show in 1928 and was bought by Harry Williams and his wife Marguerite Clark. Harry was an aviation pioneer and loved all things fast, and when he heard about the horsepower and guaranteed to do 100, he just had to have this car. So with that, they took it back to New Orleans. Little story I'll tell you about the car with Harry. He was driving out through the countryside and he was given a ticket and fined $10 for speeding. Harry said, well, here's $20. I'll be back through town later. Don't bother me. True story. So it's a wonderful car, 160 horsepower. It's got dual carburation, dual ignition. It's an 8A SS model, and the SS stands for Super Sport. 1928. Well, this is was built by LeBaron, and they were noted for their boat-tail speedsters. This one's believed to be #1 boat-tail speedster that LeBaron built. And the second car built has been highly altered, so this is the only one in original condition. But it has a single seat rumble seat in the back. All the chrome or the bright work you see on the car is not chrome. It's either German silver or it's nickel. All the plating is pre-chrome era. The engine is of a straight 8 design, overhead valve, producing 160 horsepower. And when you think about that, it doesn't seem like much, but when you think of the period 1928, when the average car was around 40 or 50 horsepower, here's a car with 160 horsepower, so it's a pretty amazing machine. No, you have to make what you need. Fortunately for us, it was a very complete car, just a couple of pieces we had to make. There's a plug in the front, and the gas cap is about the only things we had to make for this car. So it has ostrich interior, rattan floor covering, and out of the New Orleans area, that's what they like down there.
Coming up on Car Show Television.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is the start of our Winter Park Concours d'Elegance. Mr. Ridge Park, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey folks, Alex here with Car Show Television, and we are visited here today by the one and only Wayne Carini, who is the Grand Marshal of the 2013 Winter Park Concours d'Elegance. Wayne, thanks for coming here today. What an extraordinary day with a great turnout.
You know, the weather couldn't be better, the amount of cars and people that are here, but the quality of the cars is really the key. You know, to see beautiful cars is a Bentley Type R and then a Stutz, Rolls Royces, just unbelievable stuff. And I haven't even seen what's down the alley yet.
Yeah, it really is incredible, and I was watching you looking at the cars, and it's like being a kid on Christmas morning with these cars, isn't it? I mean, some of the unique, that Stutz that we saw over there, just unbelievable.
That Stutz is sex on wheels. Yeah. I mean, it is the coolest looking car in the world, I think. But, you know, that's what's cool about coming to a car show like this, or any other car show around the country, is you never know what you're going to see. There could be the normal cars you see every day, and then all of a sudden, you know, walk 3 cars later and there's this great surprise. It's like Christmas morning.
Yeah, Isotta Fraschini, I think, is that what it's called? That unbelievable car that was over there with the ostrich leather interior?
Yeah, it's Isotta Fraschini.
That's it. I can't get the Italian stuff right ever. That's my problem. Tell us a little bit more about the Winter Park Concours d'Elegance and its prominence in the world of concours.
It's a growing concours. I mean, it's in, I believe it's its 12th year, and it continues to grow every year. And people are getting more and more to know the concours, and it's a great time of the year to have this event because basically a lot of the major concours across the country, like Pebble Beach, are all done for the season. And then it picks back up starting with Scottsdale and stuff. So this is a great time of the year to have a concours like this. A lot of people come to Florida at this time of the year and bring their collections down for the winter. It's a great way to display those, and it's a growing event, and it's a street event. That's what's really kind of cool. It's not in a parking lot. It's not in a golf course like you'd normally see, you know, a major car show. It's a street venue. Restaurants are open. It's a great venue. Everyone should come to the Winter Park Concours.
Thanks again. Wayne Carini here with us on Car Show Television.
Styles, and I'm a longtime friend of Car Show Television. Today we're up here in Winter Park, Florida at the Concours d'Elegance. And with me today, we brought what I guess can best be described as the world's rarest production car. It's the one and only 1967 Shelby GT500 convertible. Well, this car was actually ordered August 9th, 1966, about 1 week prior to Mustang production beginning at Ford's San Jose plant. It was finally delivered November 21st, 1966. However, in between that time, Ford told Carroll Shelby that he could not introduce a convertible in the 67 model year. So unfortunately, or fortunately, only one was built. Once it arrived at Shelby American, Carroll Shelby took it on as his personal car. There was nothing else to do with it. So as Carroll Shelby's personal driver, it got loaned to his friends, celebrities, employees, and visiting Ford executives. After about 4 months of being his personal driver, the car was repurposed into how you see it today. It became one of 2 1968 styling prototypes that were used to photograph and create all the marketing literature and brochure used by the Ford dealers during the launch for the 1968 model line. This car is actually a 67, but it's been disguised as a 68. This car has actually been disguised this way for the last 45 years. It's wearing what looks like 1968 fiberglass, the front end, the hood, and the taillight panel. However, these are actually prototype one-off pieces that were crafted by hand by Ford's go-to skunk workshop, which was Dearborn Steel Tubing. The pieces were fabricated, shipped out to California, and in April of 1967, they were bolted onto this car so the photographing could begin. Between April 67 and July 1967, the car made multiple appearances. It ended up being repainted white because it photographed better in an era of black and white photography. And eventually, when Shelby American shut down operations in California, when Ford bought them out, the car was shipped up to Dearborn, and Ford decided to sell it on their B lot because it was a standard production line car meeting all safety requirements in 1967. There was no reason to crush the car, so it got sold to a Ford employee. And there it stayed in the Great Lakes area, and it was found outside of Chicago back in 1977. We actually acquired this car in 2009 from Dana Meekum. It ran through his Indy auction, kind of at the low of the market, you might say. And after acquisition, we sent it right off to RNA Motorsports to begin a concourse level restoration. That took about 2 years, and included in that would be about 5 years of ongoing research, documenting the car, interviewing former Shelby American employees, finding paperwork, and continuing to just learn the history about this car so that we can take it around, share it, and show it. You know, I don't know if this is a great example of the Ford-Shelby relationship. It kind of speaks to what was happening back then, which is that Carroll desperately wanted to introduce additional body styles beyond just the fastback that he had been producing since 1965 with the Mustang-based product. In 67, actually in August 66, he ordered the first 3 big blocks, which were a Car 100, a fastback, Car 131, which was a coupe, and Car 139, which was a convertible. All 3 cars were ordered identically: candy apple red, black deluxe interior, automatic air conditioning, and of course a smog system because they were California bound. The coupe unfortunately didn't survive. The fastback is still around today, and the convertible became the only one because Ford did not allow him to produce a convertible in 1967. Despite all of his customers, primarily celebrities, wanting a drop top, Carroll Shelby was having a hard enough time running a company, and so Ford said, just stick with the fastback. The convertible, the coupe, it's just asking too much at the time. And as we know, 67 was the end of it for Shelby. Ford took it over going forward.
My name's Richard Mitchell from Montgomery, Texas, and that's about 40 miles north of Houston. And we've brought our 1929 Stutz Lancefield bodied Supercharged Coupe to the show, and we'd like to talk about a little bit about it. The car was built specifically for one of the Woolworth brothers in 1929. The main features of the car are, of course, the supercharger. Stutz was renowned for building very fast, sporty, high-end cars during the era. The engine is 322 cubic inches and naturally aspirated. It's about 135 horsepower with the supercharger engaged that goes to 165. Really nice car, fun to drive, beautiful car. The lines on it are just exquisite. This is the only one remaining. This is the only one in the world. Yeah. Well, actually, in 1929, in the most read automotive magazine in England, that's what they referred to it as being the most sinister car of the decade. It's just a neat car. It's difficult, you know, that every time you look at this car, you see something different. There's a different curve. There's a different way the sunlight hits it. The lowered roof. I think the 34 Fords were probably the first ones to come out with sort of an American car, American production car, to come out with something that was anything close to this. I watched it for about 7 years go through different hands, and it finally came up for auction actually it was at the Pebble Beach auction in 2010, and I bought the car there. It's that sinister look, you know, the styling, it grabs you. You know, if you have the ability to own something like this, you're going to want it. That's it.
I'm Ken Baker, and I'm the Deputy Director here at the Winter Park Concours d'Elegance. I'm a longtime friend of Car Show TV and work with them on a couple of episodes. You guys have asked me today about the judging, so we want to talk about what our judges are looking for and how they actually judge the cars. At Winter Park, we're a little bit different from a normal street show in that we have marked specialist judges. Our judges are very highly specialized in the cars that they're going to judge. So if we look at a car like this Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Going, they're judged by Mercedes-Benz experts. And what they're going to look for in the car is primarily, after condition, of course, is authenticity and originality. Now, this car is special because it's a fully documented car from day one. This car is a two-owner car with original ownership for 50 years. It is documented back to its build. We have the build records, we have the original sales invoice, the window sticker, and every single service record on this car from its beginning. Now, one of the things that happened with this car, and the judges are going to note that, and it's going to be in their decision on how this car places, is in 1963, it was sent back to the Mercedes-Benz factory. They retrofitted the engine to the higher compression ratio, they upgraded the brakes, and they put on the Rudge wheels. Everything documented from Mercedes-Benz. Its current owner bought it just about a year ago, and this car is about as close to perfect and a perfectly documented Going as you can find anywhere. We hope you enjoy looking at it. It's a spectacular car and just one of the examples of the 175 cars that we have here at Winter Park. Today we have about 80,000 people walking through the show, and most of the cars that we have here are very similar quality to this one.